Hi, this is Ruth Theresa with One Inspiring Woman, and today we're talking about how do you know someone else has very low vibrations. There are many ways, and we're going to talk about a few of them, but a lot of times when you start really looking at the other person, kind of like what's going on with them, what are the things they're talking about, what are the things they're not talking about, and kind of some of the things that they keep coming around and around and around to talk about. Kind of like, we already talked about that, but they have to say it again. So it's one of those, these are kind of some interesting ones. That are really important to kind of keep track of, because usually people that have lower vibrations sometimes they can hide them really well, and it's just nice to know who you're hanging around with. So let's start out. The first one is they feel stuck and not always are always asking kind of like, what should I do next? Or what do you think I should do next? Or always asking other people for their opinion. And a lot of times they may take it, but then they'll backlash it back to you. Kind of like, well, you told me I should do this. You told me I should do that. And so that's kind of one of the first ways to know you're dealing with someone with low vibrations. The next one is kind of like they struggle with kind of like this uncaring attitude towards anybody but close people. It could be they have a bad attitude or bad caring attitude kind of towards friends, relatives, and everything else, but maybe they're close-knit, they're going to really hold to high esteem, but everybody else they're going to talk bad about, or they're going to talk trash about. So this is kind of one of those, interesting. Next one, they may be emotionally distant. They may be very emotionally reactive to kind of like what's going on around them, or, oh my gosh, like they almost like overreact to things that you're kind of like, okay, that would have been maybe like a 5 reaction for me, and that's a 30 for them. So it's kind of like, where are we at with this? They usually struggle with a lot of fatigue or being tired all the time. And I don't mean like, hey, they want to take a nap for a little bit once in a while. I mean like they're constantly like they get out of bed really late. They stay up late. Usually that's another indication. And it's kind of like just being like really lazy, not wanting to do things, not wanting to carry through with things. The next one is they usually struggle with depression, and it's one of those, the way they deal with it is not the right way. So if they've gone to the doctor and got medication, they're not taking the medication. They're still talking about how bad they feel, how depressed they feel, that sort of thing. And so it's kind of like, and they're putting it on other people. Well, the doctor, they gave me the wrong medication, so I can't take that. It's always someone else's fault. Usually they are physically unfit or unhealthy, and they blame it all on everybody else. Or it's, I hurt my knee back in college or back in high school and I can't exercise. It's always someone else's fault, or there's some type of thing. They're not putting it to the positive of like, well, I did injure my knee, yet I've learned some exercises to work around this. So they're not kind of forward thinking in that area. One of the things is they usually suffer with kind of this guilty complex, and they're always trying to find someone else to blame. It's your fault, it's your fault, it's your fault, it's your fault. And they do this in so many different areas. It's kind of like at first you may be drawn in like, oh yeah, it's her fault, she shouldn't have said that. And then you start to realize like it's always someone else's fault. So you're kind of like, if it's always someone else's fault, whoever's not around us, it's probably my fault when I'm not here. So kind of one of those, let's see, they really never know what they desire in their life or require in their life. They're always just kind of mad and upset, like, well, he got my dream job, or she got my dream job, or it's always someone else's fault. So kind of that's kind of an interesting way to look at it. They are continuously making bad choices, and kind of it's bad choice after bad choice. Like they keep dating the same person, even though they've been told like a million times, like this is not the right person for you. They keep coming back to that same person. The next one is they're always very cynical or very skeptical, and always very argumentative. So it's always kind of like looking at the bad side of life, kind of like, oh, this isn't going to work. Why are we even trying this? And then if you try to come back with them like, well, let's just give it a try. They're always argumentative about it. They're always like, kick it back into gear, that sort of thing. Let's see. They always kind of stay in that victim mindset of kind of like, I'm always the victim. It's always my problem. My mom always says it's my problem. My or my dad always says it's me, that sort of thing. And so they're always kind of like, saying that, but necessarily when you're around their parents, you probably don't get that feeling. It's one of those, they're kind of just like, I'm always the victim. Everybody takes it out on me. Everybody takes out their bad day on me. So it's kind of over and over and over and over again. I will say a lot of times, they really have a very negative mindset of kind of like everything is not on their side. Everything is kind of like negative. It's bad now, just wait, it's going to get worse. It's bad now, but wait, it's going to get worse and worse and worse. So they're always got that negative mindset going on. I would also say they really deal with a lot of like, don't really do well with like showing gratitude or kind of expressing their gratitude towards others. Like even if someone gave them something like, here's this, they're always constantly like, well, they should have given me more. There's not enough gratitude with it. Or they're kind of like, well, thank you, kind of like snotty attitude. And that's how kind of like that very low vibration. I will say one of the ones is they're always like very needy. They're always the one in need in the group. They're always the one that's kind of like everything doesn't work out. So they're always kind of like, I need more, I need more, I need more. And no matter how much you give them more, they're always requiring more. So it's kind of like, oh my goodness. I will say they usually play a lot of video games or games that have a lot of violence in them because it makes them feel like the hero. It's one of those that kind of really bumps them up and makes them feel like a hero. The other weird thing I've always noticed is they always listen to music with very violent lyrics. It's not like just they love one song because the way the music is or anything like that. It's always very violent, very intense music, music that puts other people down, or talking about like negative aspects to it. So that's one of those really things. They always really kind of find it hard to make really great progress in their life. So it's one of those, no matter what's going on with them, they very rarely seem to move forward with ease. It's always kind of like they're barely moving forward. And a lot of that has to do with their attitude and kind of really they're always feeling like it's their fault, that victim mentality, because they're expecting it to go wrong. And so when it does, it's kind of like, oh yeah, see, I told you it was going to go wrong. So let's do some angel cards and get us a little bit more information about people that have low vibrations. So this one is my first. New love. I will tell you, it's interesting because this is the first card, because a lot of times what I get is they don't really love themselves. They're kind of really the new love that they really need to bring into themselves. They don't love themselves. They don't love anything about themselves, nor are they willing to change or upgrade themselves. So it's kind of like they're always looking for that negative side of life, that negative stuff. And so when they are, it's kind of like they're always expecting the negative to come into them and get more and more negative. Enchantment. They rarely see things on the good side of life or the easy side of life or fun side of life. And like I said, they're constantly blaming other people. I've got like a couple of them that are stuck together, and I know there's 3 of them. So these are our last 3. So first one, children. They've been like this since childhood. I will say that usually either them or someone around them has been like this, and so they kind of just like picked up on it, like, oh, this is how life is supposed to go, and I'm just supposed to complain about everything around me and everyone around me. And so that's something that kind of gets everybody down around them. The next one is spiritual growth. They kind of almost like, no, don't want to do spiritual growth, do not want to grow, do not want to change, do not want to modify anything. Like, I'm not happy with their life, but they're not willing to make changes either. So it's kind of, The last one is celebration. A lot of times they really do want to celebrate. They really do want to have a good life. But a lot of times, like I said, they got taught as a child, like the negative way of life is kind of the way to do it, or kind of like how to deal with life. But they never get past it. They never get past that part of it. They never get past that part of it. And so they're always kind of like in that negative mindset, that negative energy. And so that just kind of makes it kind of, this isn't good. This isn't where I want to be in my life. This isn't what I want to do. So that's one of those things that they kind of keep hanging on to, that negative side of life. And they always feel stuck. No matter how much you keep moving forward. They're kind of like they're always still back there. And a lot of times, it's not like you have to cut them out of your life, but eventually they will fall out of your life if you are keeping on the very positive or high vibrations of life. That's kind of where we kind of move in with that. I thank you so much for joining me today, and I know that we'll be talking again soon.